What's up, guys? AstroPenguin642 here, showing you how to make code blocks in Platform Racing 3. I've already done a video on this, but I decided to make a part 2 because more stuff was added. If you haven't seen the original video I did on this, you should definitely go watch it. If you need a refresher and you've already seen it, then you can definitely do that as well. But for any of you who haven't seen the first video, you're definitely going to want to do that before you dive into the stuff that I go over here. A full link to the documentation and the old video will be in the description. But it's basically, I wonder what you're asking, or I know what you're asking. What was added to the code blocks? Well, I'll do an example right here. I have 5 block examples right here, and I'm going to show you what they all do. So, you see this door over here? I have like a little door right here. And when I walk over this open door block, it opens the door. And then when I walk over the closed door block, it closes the door. I'll explain how to do all these things. And then we have this little block right here that when I hit it, it shatters these 2 blocks. And then I can get through. So, and then if I come over here, we have like a little snail dude. So this snail dude will check which hat you're wearing. And if you're wearing happy, it'll let you go down. And if you're wearing shark, it'll let you go up. So I'm going to touch it. And it's going to, since I'm wearing happy, it will let me go down here. And then you'll see we have these little garden blocks. And when I get hit and try to touch one of the garden blocks, it doesn't heal me or anything. So when I pick up the happy hat and I touch one, I get healed. So yeah, that's basically how these garden blocks that I made work, and obviously they only work once, because if they worked more than once, they'd be OP, and then you can get healed for 1 health. So, that's what the garden blocks do. So, then if I go to the block, or not the block editor, the lobby, and I give myself Shark Hat, it detects that I have Shark Hat, and it lets me go up this way, or if I was fast enough, it would. There we go. So yeah, that is basically what the code blocks can do, but how do you even make them? So again, you should probably catch up on the last video, but I'm going to go over what I did to make each of these blocks in Platform Racing 3. So, first off, I'm going to go to the block editor, and I'm going to start off with the garden block, because it's the simplest. So as you saw, the garden block gives you health whenever you have Happy Hat, but it only works once. So if we go into the block settings, we can check what this does. So first off, it sets a new variable called used to 0, and what this is doing is we're having a variable so that we can check to see that it's only used once, because we don't want it to be used more than once. But basically, the new indicates that it's a new variable. We're only setting this once. If you touch the block again, it doesn't set this variable again, because it only sets it if there is no variable. And the reason we're using 0s and 1s instead of true and false is because there are no booleans yet, so we have to use 0s and 1s, but that's okay. And so then we're going to check if variable.used equals 0 and if player.hat equals 19. So what we're doing here is we're just making sure it hasn't been used yet, and what we're doing here is we're checking to see if the player has Happy Hat. If you're wondering, like, oh, 19's a random number, it's actually not. 19 is the ID for Happy Hat. And then we're going to put a then at the end of our if statement. We always put thens at the end. And then player.health plus equal to 1, that's healing the player, and then setting variable.used to 1 so that it doesn't get used again, because it's going to check right here if it's 0, and if it's 1, that's not going to be true. So then we end the if statement, and the code works. So now I'm going to teach you how I made the shatter thing. I'm going to teach you how I made this. So this is the one that broke those 2 blocks that were like down and to the right of it. So what it does first is it does block.getBlock, which is one of the new methods, right 3 and down 1. So you'll notice if I go back to the level editor and I zoom in real close on these blocks, you'll notice that if you count over 3 to the right, so 1, 2, 3, and then 1 down, that would be this block right here. We would be modifying this block. So now that we have that block, we can put a period at the end of get block, and we can shatter it. So you can do other things here, like there's some stuff I went over in the last episode, like instead of doing shatter, you can also do explode. And you can, I don't know what changing the damage of an exploded block that doesn't actually hurt you does, but we just want it to shatter. And then we're gonna copy over this exact same thing, but instead of getting the block that is 3 to the right and down 1, we're gonna get down 2 because it's a little bit lower. So that's how you do that. Now let's see how you decipher between two hats. So here I have if p.hat, which is player.hat, equals 18. 18 is the ID for SharkHat. And also, don't worry if you don't know what the IDs are. I'm going to be putting a list in the docs in the description, so be sure to look at that. So if p.hat is 18, then we're going to get another block. Right 0 because it doesn't change the horizontal axis, and then up 4, so the block is up. The block is above this block in 4 blocks away, and then we're going to vanish that block in 1, I believe this is millisecond, so let me check. Yeah, it's a millisecond. So if I made this like 1,000 instead of 1, it would wait a second before vanishing. But I just did 1. You actually don't even have to put that there. If you don't put anything there, it'll be 0. But I don't know, I just put 1 because it looked nicer. That's actually not a good reason at all, but whatever. It's there, so I'm going to have to deal with that. And anyways, then it's going to check if p.hat equals 19, which is happy hat, and it's going to do the exact same thing, except instead of up 4, it's going to be down 4. So the block 4 below it, and then it's going to end. You're going to end both of these because they're both separate if statements, and make sure the end is up here and not down here because you want to end them one by one unless they're inside of each other. So that's how you make the snail. So now the good stuff, that what everyone's been waiting for, how to open and close doors. So here I have block.getBlock right 5 and up 2. So if we go back to the level editor, you'll notice that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then up to 1, 2 is this block right here. So you're going to be moving this block. So if we go to the block editor, right 5 up 2 is that block I just showed you, then it's going to move up. It's simply just going to move that block upwards. Then it's going to get the block that is right 5 and up 3, which is actually that exact same block. You'll notice that since it moved up 2, it is now 1 higher than it used to be. So then it's going to move that one up as well. So it's going to move the top block both ways first, just so it can get that out of the way. And then the block below that is going to go right 5 and up 1. So, I mean, you're gonna get the block below that, which is right 5 up 1 in relation to the source block. Reminder that this is actually relation to the source block, not relation to the block that you previously got. So, you'll always have like an origin point that you can reference. It's going to move that one up, and then it's going to move that exact same block up again, except it's going to be up 2 because it had already been moved. So moving it down is essentially the same thing, except I'm going to do the one on the bottom before I do the one on the top. Which is actually not what I do here at all, which is really confusing, because that shouldn't work, but it does, apparently. Maybe it's because I'm touching it twice. That's probably why. But anyways, what I do here is basically the same thing, but the opposite. I move them down instead of up, and I get it in a different order because it only makes sense to do it that way, because that's where they are at that point. But yeah, that's how you make a door. You can just copy paste my code, or if you want to make like a 3-block door, if you want to make a 1-block door, there's different things you can do. So much cool stuff. And as a finale, since this was actually kind of short, it's only been like 9 minutes, I'm going to try something I haven't actually tried yet. because there's a lot of new stuff. I'm going to try exploding a block above a certain block, so let me just recolor this, make it like red or something. Make a red block. And then I'm basically going to change this to active and change this to bump, or yeah, change this to code, aka change bump to code. And then I'm gonna block.get block right 0 up 2, or up 1 actually, and then dot explode, and I'm gonna do 0 just to see what happens, if it actually does damage. But I just want to try this because usually explosions hurt the player, so I want to see an explosion that doesn't hurt the player. It might still hurt the player because it's programmed weirdly, but we'll see. So then I'm going to save it, and it's going to be called outside explosion. Save. Go to level editor. And what do we want to explode? Let's try exploding some freaking water. Why not? Sounds like a really bad idea, but I want to try exploding water. Let's see. Let's try to explode some water. It actually doesn't work. So, go to the block editor. Let me just make sure I'm doing it right. It could just be that it's not allowed to explode. So, let me try using a normal block. Alright. Okay. Maybe it doesn't work unless it's actually the block that you're touching. So, good to know, good to know. That's fine. Let's try. I still want to try some more things. I'm going to try crumble. Alright. Save. Let's try crumbling this block above me. Huh. Apparently that doesn't work either. Am I actually doing this correctly? Let me... Oh no, that'll ruin the video. Hold on. Is it even get block? I might actually be stupid. Let me go back here and look at this. Yeah, it is get block. Yeah, maybe you just can't do that. So, that's fine. One last thing. Wait. Did I not save it when I did, crumble? I probably just didn't save it. That's fine. Well, I just want to try some things. Oh, it actually does work. Alright, that's really neat. But it's weird because it crumbles it. I mean, it like automatically shatters it instead of actually doing damage. So, let's try health minus equal to 1. Let's see what happens when I change the health of this block. Okay, it actually does nothing. Interesting. I want to try one more thing. Try changing the health by 50. Go to level editor. Hit this twice. Maybe hit it again. No, it doesn't work. That's fine. I still just want to try some things out. Let me do shatter again. And then I'm going to try to shatter some water. Let's see what happens when I shatter some water. So save it. Go to the level editor. Let's try shattering water. I can actually shatter water, apparently. Yo, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Anyways, thanks everyone for watching. This has been CodeBlox Tutorials and goofing around at the end. And I will see you in the next video where maybe I will go over some requests. If you guys want to request anything, ask how to make something, I might do a video on it where I show you guys how to make something cool with the new CodeBlox. So, yeah. Thanks everyone for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.